Hey, I'm Dr. Toby. Welcome to the Rehab Mobile channel. In this video, I want to help you out if you've been having hip pain, and I'm going to explain to you why pain medications and injections may be making your hip pain worse. So if you're somebody who's had achy, sharp, or sore, or dull, throbbing hip pain, and you've tried different things like pain medications or injections, and maybe when you're standing for long periods, this is really difficult because when you're in line at the grocery store, this sucks. Or maybe you sit for your job, like you drive a lot, and that causes a lot of pain in your hip. Or when you're sleeping or trying to exercise or work out or run, and you've tried different things and pain medications and injections hasn't really helped, I want you to understand in this video why the pain medications and injections may actually have been making your pain worse, and what you actually need to do to make 100% recovery for your hip without limitations or discomfort. So stay tuned. By the way, if you're new to our channel, we make videos on how to stay healthy, pain-free, fit, and mobile. And if you want to achieve those things in your life, living your best life, transforming your health and your fitness to be able to live the quality of life that you want to live, this channel is going to be helpful for you. So hit that red subscribe button down in the left side. It's my left, your right. Hit that button and stay tuned and connected to all the videos we make just to help you. So let's talk about it, right? Why can pain medications and injections actually make your hip pain worse? Now, this is something very, very important. Number one, you should know that there are lots of different reasons why pain in your hip can be present, from arthritis to bursitis to hip strain or groin strain or so many other kind of things. And the truth of the matter is, reason number one why pain medications and injections may be actually making your hip pain worse is because what it does is it actually numbs the pain. Now, you're like, well, isn't that the goal? The goal is to take my pain away. But the truth is that the pain medication and injections don't necessarily take the pain away. What it does is it stops you from being sensitive to the pain, and it essentially numbs the pain. And why this is a challenge or can be making your pain worse is because if there's a root issue to why you have that pain in your hip, you may have the pain medication and the injection, and what it does is it relieves that pain. But what happens is you go on to do things throughout your daily activity in your daily life that continue to exacerbate that issue, even though you're not feeling the pain. So you might be doing things that typically cause you pain without having pain. So let's say going up and down the stairs usually causes you pain, but after you put the injection or the medication, you start to no longer feel pain. Or you may be continuing to aggravate whatever structures are there at the hip that are actually causing the pain, and the pain is you're no longer feeling that pain, so you're able to do it even more frequently. And so after the pain medication or injection wears off, you're like, well, the pain has intensified or it's increased. Or maybe you go back to doing those activities and you think, well, I didn't have pain when I did it, so now maybe it's healed and it's fixed because I took pain medications and I didn't have pain at that time when I did it. And so the pain, when you do those activities, you start to feel it again. And so this can be very problematic because reason number two, if there's a root issue to the pain medication or to the hip problem, the pain medications aren't going to address it. So the reason number two is that pain medications and injections do not address the root issue of what's going on with your hip. And this is very significant because there's only a few structures that could be contributing to your hip. The hip is a very complex joint. It sits in between the knee and the back. So your hip pain can actually be coming from your back. And even though you've gotten an injection into the hip, or you've gotten pain medications, right? You may not have been addressing the root issue because the pain may be coming from your back, or the medications are not going to change the structures that may be damaged or injured, right? So let's say you have a strain to your groin, and that's being aggravated by certain positions, like how you're walking, or when you're going up and down the stairs, or when you are doing certain things. Or maybe let's say you have arthritis. The same concept applies. You have arthritis, there's change to your joint, the joint is degenerated, you get an injection that numbs or relieves the pain, but the structure is still being aggravated every single time you do certain activities. And so that structure is still being broken down, or still being aggravated, or still being stressed, but you're just not feeling it. So you're doing things that's actually making it worse, but you don't feel it because the pain medications and injections are numbing the pain. So you're actually aggravating the root issue while the pain medications are keeping you oblivious to what's going on. And you think that you're 100% better. So you keep doing things and thinking that you are more healthy or mobile than you actually can be. And you're doing things that you shouldn't be doing at that phase of your recovery, and it's making your pain worse. Now, how do I know this? I know this because we've worked with literally hundreds, actually thousands of patients who have had these same predicaments, and they've come to us and they're like, well, I've tried the pain medications and injections for so long, but it just hasn't helped. Now, here's the problem. The problem is that it doesn't address the root issue, and it allows you to be numb to the pain without and continue to do activities and things that may be aggravating and worsening in it. So here's the last and the number 3 reason why the pain medication and injections are making your hip pain worse. They're making your hip pain worse because they're keeping you away from actually getting to not only the root issue, but from getting to an actual treatment that's going to solve the actual problem. So pain medications and injections are often cause us to become dependent. And when we become dependent on those pain medications and injections, we lose the tolerance to those medications the more we take them. And what that means is you are going to have to continue to take stronger medications to address or alleviate that pain. And what that does is it keeps you from actually addressing the root issue and doing the treatments that are going to help you no longer have to use the pain medication. So the more I take this medication, the more tolerance I may develop to it, and therefore I may need to take more intense medications. And what that's going to do is keep me from actually addressing the real issue and getting the right treatment that I need. And we've seen this with lots of patients. One of the best things that you can do is to actually get to the root issue and get a thorough rehab or hip pain diagnostic, which can be performed by a physical therapist who's an expert in the musculoskeletal and neurological conditions. Now, is this to say that pain medications are bad and injections are bad? Well, here's a scenario in which pain medication and injections can be helpful. They're helpful when you are actually working with a professional, an expert who's going to not only highlight the root issue, but who's going to tell you at what point in time you no longer need to rely on those pain medications and injections because the root issue is able to be addressed. Let's use an example. If you got into a severe car accident, you have severe pain, and you really can't move your hip at all, and even just for a professional or an expert like ourselves to touch or to move your hip, you have severe excruciating pain. That's when pain medications can be helpful. But when you become dependent on those pain medications as though they're going to be the solution to the issue, that's when it becomes negative and more unproductive, because now you're relying on something that's never meant to be relied on to solve or to address the pain that's coming from legitimate, real structures. Your pain is not just a figment of imagination. It's being caused by something potentially. There may be a structure or something that's being harmed that can be alleviated if it's actually addressed in its root issue. And so the problem with pain medications is not that they're bad 100%, but if they're relied on solely as the only solution, then that's a problem. Where they become helpful is when you are getting physical therapy treatment or rehab to address the issue, the root issue, and you already have a solution that's in place. We worked with a patient, for example, who had severe arthritis, got some injections because the pain was so severe that they couldn't even really move without having discomfort or pain, but they got injections so that they could tolerate therapy, which was going to address the root issue. So what it is a time-saving kind of treatment or intervention, but it's not a total solution. So you want to be able to save time, meaning get that injection so that you can have more relief to get the root issue addressed. And so hopefully that makes sense. If you found that this video has been helpful, just go ahead and leave a like and let us know in the comments what was most helpful for you about this video. One of the best things that you can do is schedule a hip pain diagnostic and talk to a PT first. We do thorough hip assessments here at Rehab Mobile, and all you need to do is click the link in our description to get a free conversation where we're not only going to ask you thorough questioning about the history of what's been going on, we're going to take significant time to explain to you what's going on with your hip and what you need to start doing to make it 100% better. And it's 100% free to have this conversation by clicking that link in the description to fill out the questionnaire. And this is going to be very, very beneficial for you because we've done this to help literally thousands of patients. So if you're going to be our next patient, we'd love to help you out and to get you a permanent solution to your problem without having you become dependent on medication, without having you numb the pain, or without having you miss the root issue and thinking that your hip is going to be like this for the rest of your life, because it doesn't have to be that way as long as you get the right treatment and guidance. And so we look forward to connecting with you. And again, thank you for subscribing to our video. Share our video with someone that you know will be helpful for, and thanks for connecting with us and subscribing to our channel. See you in the next video.